Hey everyone, welcome back to the All Music Matters in That podcast. I'm your host, Brian. And joining me today is a special guest, hailing from Deutschland, Joel Dubois. How you doing, brother?
Hey everyone, thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk a little bit to you and for having me. Thank you.
No worries. And if you're noticing the name too, it's kind of strange because it's a French name in a German-speaking country, but he's 100% German too. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a little bit confusing because I have a fully French name, but I'm 100% German.
That's all good to hear. But does it show you my German, or at least what I know so far, and at least retain? Wie geht's, Joel?
Ja, sehr gut, sehr gut.
All right.
Klingt gut.
So good, so good. All right. That's all good. I took 4 years of German in high school, and yet they did not have a German speaking program at university I went to. So unfortunately, it became a little bit of a lost start afterwards. So unfortunately,
it's crazy with languages. As long as you don't speak them, then you kind of forget them. You know, it's doesn't matter how long you spoke it or how good you were. It's if you don't have the practice, then I guess you just forget it.
Well, there's one language we are good at. It's the language of music. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Actually, I was listening to your music last night, and I had to say, damn, that's good.
Thank you. Thank you.
No worries. But we'll elaborate more on your music in a little bit too. But first off, I guess talk about the band name a little bit first. How'd you come up with the name Steam Slicer?
Yeah, Steam Slicer was not so much something I put a lot of thought in, to be honest. It was more like someone said, a brain fart, because you can't slice steam, you know. It was just something I came up with because I have a lot of stupid stuff in my head and sometimes it needs to get out. And Steam Slicer was one of those, and I had made some music and didn't have a name for the project yet, and I was showing it to a friend and said, "Hey, I'm making a prog metal kind of solo project. It's called Steam Slicer," and he was like, "Oh, cool, yeah, nice," and he didn't question the name. So I thought, okay, then I might as well go with it. So if it's not too weird, then it's good, yeah.
And so, yeah, if nobody's questioning it, it's almost like, all right,
yeah,
we'll roll with it, that sort of thing, too. That's all cool. All right. So I guess let's jump into more of the questions right here so we get to know you more, both as the musician, but also as the individual, too. So, you ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So we'll start with the first one. Who are you? And I guess, how'd you become a musician?
My name is Joel. That's me. I started music when I was a teenager, or making music. I have a brother that is 4 years older than me, so he came home with all kinds of CDs, and he was strongly in the skate punk thing that was going on, and there was a lot of Green Day and NoFX and stuff you still hear today. But there was one special CD he brought home that was Vulgar Display of Power by Pantera. And that one just was like, oh my God, I was like 12, 13 years old when I first heard that CD. And it blew my mind. It was so heavy. It was the heaviest stuff I've ever heard. I was super fascinated by the aggressive music, but still it made me feel good. I wasn't like in a bad mood when I heard it. I was like super happy, and that was kind of cool. And I started getting into that a lot more, and more the heavy music. My brother was still more punk rock and grunge kind of type. And then we don't know to this day why he decided to buy a guitar and an amp. And then we just started jamming from there. We didn't have any theoretical teaching or anything like that. We just took the guitar and tried to play something that is easy. And at that time, it was a lot of Nirvana because they used a lot of power chords and they were easy, and you can just go through the fretboard and play any kind of chord. And that was the first stuff we played together. Like he was playing guitar, and we had another acoustic guitar then. It sounded like crap probably, but it was cool. And then a friend of mine, a classmate, he had a drum set, and I asked him if I could borrow it, and then we set it all up in my room at my parents' house and started jamming. And that was the first time I really made music, and I was like maybe 15 years old. And yeah, from that I grew into heavy music a lot. It was Pantera was a big thing, it still is. Then came stuff like Slayer and a lot of German stuff like Blind Guardian was huge for me. Iron Maiden came then, and like the classics of heavy metal, I would say. Yeah, and then it got. I was usually like more into bass guitar. I bought a bass guitar and started playing along the songs. But then I got more into like death metal and like faster stuff. So I was super fascinated by drumming, because I was like, nobody can do this on drums. It's like ridiculously fast. And yeah, that is what got me into drumming in the end. And that's where I would see myself as a musician. I'm a drummer. I don't have a drum set here right now. I'm living in an apartment that wouldn't be so good for my neighbors, but I still have my good old kit in the basement at my parents' place, and I don't get to play as much as I want to, but every now and then I get to. And yeah, that's when I realized I have to do music at the computer. You know, home recording was getting easier, like 10, 15 years ago. I played in a band for a couple of years, and first on bass guitar and then on drums. But yeah, then we parted and life got in the way. I studied and I moved away, so it wasn't so easy to rehearse and stuff. And yeah, then I made, probably since then, I made music just for myself. On the computer, I recorded guitars and bass, and I programmed drums. I never sang, though. I never did that. I did this for like 10 years or something. A lot of stuff I recorded and never released anything. And yeah, but yeah, I grew older, and then I met my wonderful girlfriend, and we got the news that she was pregnant. That was like almost 2 years ago now. It was in the beginning of 2022. It was, right? And yeah, as I said, I never released anything. I never put something on CD or stuff like this, but music was always the way I could express myself. And I, of course, had a lot of feelings and stuff going on when I heard that I would become a father for the first time. And I was never like the journal kind of guy, but you know, I always did music and expressed myself through that. And yeah, then I decided to make something that or make some music through that I could express what I'm feeling in this moment when I, you know, when my girlfriend was pregnant, and try to record that and put it on a CD so that I can give it to him at some day and say, look, this is how I felt when you were almost born, like a time capsule thing. That's what I wanted to do, and that is Steam Slicer. This is what I did then, and the first time in my life I sang because I needed to finish it. You know, I had a lot of stuff that already was recorded, but there was always something missing. There was artwork missing. There was always vocals missing. And this time I said, okay, I don't care if I'm not the biggest singer in the world, you know, I don't have a great voice, but I just put everything in there, and I think it's authentic. So yeah, that's I overcame my fear of singing, actually, because I didn't like my voice, and yeah, then I thought, okay, I have to do this now. I will finish this. So I have a CD in my hand that I can give my son at some point when he's ready. and show him what I did when he was almost born. Yeah.
Hey, give it up for the Joel right here. Good man. Good man. Congratulations, there, man.
Thank you.
All right. And I guess when did you want to like start doing guitar, and I guess when did bass and drums kind of fall in? Was that kind of something your parents kind of influenced you, or was it just something you just said?
Yeah, that was weird because my parents are not very musical. You know, I didn't grow up in a music household or something. There was always music playing somewhere, but neither of my parents is a musician or played an instrument ever. So that was really, I have talked about this with my brother so many times, and we were like trying to figure out why we bought a guitar or why he bought a guitar. I guess it was just cool. I don't know, to have a guitar, and I think, I can't remember having any as a child any special music-related things that got me into there. I don't know. It was just a happy coincidence, I think.
That's very good. Sometimes the path of unexpected journey or something like that too. Yeah, seems to be like the best thing that always happens in life too.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I can understand why. I did forget to ask, which part of Germany are you in?
I'm living near Heidelberg, which is in the south west of Germany. Very nice region with a lot of forest, and when I look outside my window, I see green. Well, now it's a little bit more colorful because the autumn is coming. Yeah. But it's a fantastic region here. Super nice city, and also very quiet. And when you go outside the city, lots of forest and lots of inspiration for me.
I would say, are you real close to where the Rhine River is?
Yeah, exactly. That's like 20, 30 kilometers away, the Rhine.
I would say me and my family were kind of eyeing up a trip on the Rhine soon. So
yeah, okay.
Hey, cool. Maybe we could swing by Joel's house later.
Yeah,
that'd be something.
Nice.
But it's on the bucket list right now, so we'll have to see what happens at some point. But I guess go ahead and talk more about Steam Slicer a little bit. So this was, I guess, elaborate a little bit more in case we missed anything in some of the journey here.
It's on the time scale, it's a little bit difficult to explain how my EP and my upcoming album started, but I will try to explain. So when I got the news that I was become a father, then I started recording guitar. It was guitar first. I was just jamming to myself, and I recorded like 30 to 60 minute takes. I was just playing, I was just trying to be in the moment there, and recorded like 5 or 6 takes like that, those long takes over a couple of days, not all on the same day. And I picked out the best parts in the end. And this is what actually became now my upcoming album, Devenir. This is, that was the first thing I recorded in this Steam Slicer thing. But at the same time I was playing, and I thought, okay, I can make songs out of that. But then there was the issue with the singing again. And I was like, okay, this album is so big to me. It's like a very personal and very huge album. I wanted to try the singing with something else before. I didn't want to do my first singing on this album because it meant so much to me. I didn't want to screw it up. And that's when I thought, okay, I will probably do an EP or something, a couple of songs that I could do and try the singing. And this is where my EP came out of that thought, and that was actually the time when my son was just born. And My girlfriend and me, we were like taking night shifts. I usually did like 10 p.m. to 4 a.m., something like that, so she could get some sleep. And at that time, I was mostly awake, and I thought, okay, let's try to play some guitar, not plugged in, but just electric guitar. And I had my son in the crib next to me, and he didn't seem to bother. It wasn't loud or anything. And I thought, okay, if I could do this at night, I have a lot of time. My baby's sleeping and just waking up to drink something. I could record this stuff. And then I had my little one next to me and recorded the EP that is Echoes of Infinity. Those were also like very long takes, not as much as in the album, but very long takes where I just had him next to me, and this was very special as well. So I played for him, and then I took this music and made songs out of it, and then I decided to sing to them and see what happens. This is what you can hear now on the EP. And I thought, okay, I was very nervous at the first time I actually sang, and it took me a while to even listen to myself, in the end. But I got over that, and in the end, it actually was fun to record vocals and play a little bit with the harmonies and stuff. So I decided to definitely do this on the album as well. So I did that, and that was a very good decision to try and sing, even though I know I'm not the best one, but I'm having fun at it now, and this is cool and gives me the opportunity to really make a complete work now, a complete album or EP or even just a song that I could release or show to my son at some point. Yeah.
So you really humble yourself, that's for sure. Especially I wasn't a great vocalist either, but actually I finally decided to step out of my comfort zone this year because I teamed up with Justin, aka Storm Kingdom.
Oh, nice, cool. Yeah.
And try to do some collaboration work here and there. So we'll see how that goes. Could be something up in the future with some of the other guys in the group band together. And speaking of which, how'd you join Christina and Greg's band together group? Did you just stumble upon it one day and just said, hey, let's give it a shot?
It was kind of late, actually, because I released my EP in end of March. And then I was like, okay, I have it on Spotify now, and I have it on CD. What do I do with it? I don't do this for the money or, or any. I don't want to play live because I'm just a solo project. I don't have the time to rehearse and stuff. But I thought, okay, this is kind of cool. I'm proud of it. Let's promote it. And I thought I'm super bad with social media. I hate it actually. But I thought, okay, I start in Instagram and let's do this, and was having like 10 followers and was like, okay, it's not working. I need to do some group things, and that was Facebook. And I was searching for like underground metal groups that I could join, and there are a lot. And at some day I stumbled upon Band Together, and it was crazy because I saw a picture from Christina that she posted where it says like, if you want to have followers, follow other people. If you want to support us, then support other people. You have to give and then you get back. And I thought, yeah, that's right. So I started listening to all those amazing artists that were in this group, and I was fascinated because this is such good music, but sadly no one knows about it, or not a lot of people. But I think the thing that got me was like there are so many people that are in the same place like me. Indie artists, nobody knows them, and but you can support each other, and it's such a fascinating community there. Super helpful, super supportive, and I'm to some of them I'm talking like on a daily basis now, and this is crazy. it really is had becomes some kind of a safe place, I call it, in the internet, because there's lots of scammers out there and lots of people who say, yo, your music is the best I've ever heard, and pay me $100 and I give you even more people and followers and stuff. And if you post something there, people listen to it and they genuinely tell you if it's good or not, or support you, and this is super cool to have this space in or on Facebook where you can just spread your music and people will listen to it, and they actually listen to it and give feedback, and this is super cool, and I love this community so much, and I'm very happy to be a part of that.
As I don't even get me started with those sort of scammers too. So
yeah,
let's just leave it. We digress for another day.
Yeah.
That's everything. I can see why. And let's say I think it was Christina who invited me. That's how I was able to join the group too. I think you were obviously already there, so that was a good thing too. I think you're one of the big contributors. I think we should say that. So, and going back to Pantera, since you mentioned that was like your first introduction to the heavier metal side. I guess first off, what do you think of Pantera these days when it's just Phil, Rex, then you got Charlie Benante and Zach Wild?
It's, of course, an awesome lineup there, but I actually saw them in Stuttgart last year, I think it was. Or not last year, the beginning of this year. I saw them live, this called Pantera, and it was weird because there was like a childhood dream of me to see them live. I never saw them live with Dime and Vince. So as Dime got shot on stage, I was like, okay, there's no Pantera anymore, or not the possibility that they had broken up then already, but that's gone. And there was always this thing, Zach Wild could step in and do this. And of course, Zach Wild's one of the greatest guitarists there is, or heavy guitarists, but it's not Dime, it's not Dimebag. And for me, growing up with this music, there was like, okay, there's no way to see them. But then there was a way, they reunited, half of them. And it was strange to see them live, because I obviously knew all the songs, and it was the performance was spot on, but it still kind of felt like I was watching a video. It wasn't the real thing. It was very weird. I'm glad I bought the ticket and went there, but yeah, it kind of felt strange. I don't know if it was just that night and at another place it would have been better. The crowd wasn't super like energetic and stuff like that. It was mostly old dudes, listening to stuff they heard like 10, 15 years ago. And yeah, it was strange to see them, but I still had fun. My neck hurt a lot after that concert, so it was worth it. It was all good.
Yeah. I imagine I had to reach for the Advil a good bit afterwards, or to cure your headache or anything like that too. You know what? I actually thought about it too, because I did swing by my neck of the woods at some point this year, but I think unfortunately, gotta work, you gotta pay them bills, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Too. So
it's
an unfortunate thing. And but at the same time, I was conflicted, kind of like how you were too, because it's like Pantera existed because of Vinny and Dime. They were the guys who really put the whole thing together, and they just recruited Rex and Phil.
Yeah.
So I'm not too sure. I think Phil's just trying to look for some sort of closure or forgiveness in some sort of way. But
yeah, that's a tragic thing, like a tragic history of the band, or for Phil. I think he posted some videos just when there was the funeral of Dimebag, where he wasn't invited or something, and you could see that he was like hurt, but you never know the whole story, and it's kind of sad. I feel kind of sad for him at some level, but at some level not, and I don't know. It's it's weird.
So I gotta say, wait, but I always heard like, I think the story I've always heard the most was, it was always meant to be a funny story, but they were playing on stage and Dime had to really use the bathroom, and rather than just run off stage while maybe Vinny does a drum solo, he just pulled a bucket over and just shit right into it. So
Nice.
I mean, it was committed. I'll give him points. He was committed that much.
Yeah.
May he rest in peace. So
Yeah.
but to get back into questions, I guess, would you say Pantera is your biggest influence, or do you have many other influences as well?
Yeah. Well, Pantera is definitely the biggest influence in trying to get energy into my music, because that's still, Pantera is for me the most energetic music, for me personally. But of course, I have a lot of other influences. For the drumming, it's mostly Tool. A lot of people compare me to Tool, and I really can't hear it anymore because I get why it could sound like Tool, but I never have Tool in my head when I make music. It's just I love the drummer and love what he does with crooked time signatures and stuff like this. I love that stuff. But I don't know. I can't get rid of the Tool thing when I play music or when I record music. I don't know why. Maybe someday with the next release or so, I can make it. Of course, I'm super. It's a huge compliment to get compared to or people saying it sounds like Tool is massive for me. But it has become kind of weird because I don't want to be a copy. I want to sound like Steam Slicer and not like Tool. Tool is a big thing, but not the biggest, I would say. A huge influence musically is Gojira, a band from France. They just evolved so good in all their releases, and I don't know, their sound is super unique. I think you can tell if it's a Gojira song or not, even if you don't know it. Like also their drumming and their guitar work and the singing was something I would have loved to do myself, like the screaming, and it's kind of a screaming singing mixture, but I can't scream like that, or at least not yet. Maybe I will try. That's a band I one of the rare bands nowadays that I listen to that are not independent bands, because I just enjoy them a lot. And other than that, I listened for like 10 years extremely or a lot to music from Sweden and from Norway and Finland, all the Scandinavian bands. Biggest one is probably In Flames, that everyone knows. I learned how to play like the harmonies, the double harmonies on the guitars. I learned from In Flames, and I put that into my music a lot when I play guitar. That's for sure. That's mostly the biggest influences. There's some heavier stuff like the Black Dahlia Murder, which is more like they're super fast, super aggressive, heavy death metal band, but they're so fun. You can hear that they have fun and don't take themselves super serious. And I was admired that to be able to put that in music that is so on the first look or first hearing so aggressive and so so dark, and they manage somehow, and their live shows are always awesome.
And may Trevor Strachan rest in peace too. And, I would say, actually, I wore the wrong shirt. I actually got my Black Sabbath shirt on now. I did have a Black Dahlia Murder one, and I got to wear it because I normally wear that one as one of my sleeve shirts too. So that's all good. And I could say I can kind of hear like where they're getting some of the Tool like influence per se, maybe because of the way how the singing goes too. Got more of the Maynard James Keenan. Want to make sure I got the whole name right too.
Yeah.
got sort of that flow to it. I think if you do like one of those ones where you like hold a note like very long, like some X amount of seconds too, I think then they'll really put you in that category with Tool then.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Do you have trouble trying to do solos, or you just can't really seem like fit one in at some points?
Like guitar solos?
Guitar solos, yeah.
I usually considered myself to be a rhythm guitarist, so I'm not a solo guitarist. I can't play super fast. But I tried on the album. I have 2 solos on there. I thought about doing that on the EP as well, but there wasn't the space for it. Maybe a solo guitarist would have thought differently, but I didn't think that this would have fit in there. It wasn't meant to be or meant to have a solo. And yeah, on the album I have 2 solos on there, which I'm kind of proud of because it took a long time to record them. That was one of the few things I didn't take like one takes. Usually that was the stuff that I recorded first, and there was like these long takes I mentioned, like the 30 or 60 minute takes, and most of that stuff is the original stuff that I played. I never re-recorded it because it had this feeling. It's not perfect. There are some stuff on there that I usually would have re-recorded because there's some wrong note on there or some squeaky sound or whatever. But I left it like it is because I liked the first take magic it had, and yeah, I did that with all the rhythm stuff, but not with the solo because that would have sounded like crap. So yeah, I took a lot of time to manage to record that. It took a long time, but I think it's pretty cool, and yeah, I'm looking forward what people say, because that's actually something new, musically, that there is a guitar solo on there.
I'll say otherwise you get like the sweaty palm sort of sounds at times when you're kind of moving in between the threads and everything, trying to get to the maybe a specific chord too. It's like a little triplet or whatever, something like that. Mm-hmm. So I would say technically it gets a little bit annoying, and that's just me, but I get the point that maybe it was just that one time they actually got it right. So I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But this guy's very humble. Everybody, this guy is the humblest human being met so far. So that's all.
Yeah, I try to be, yes.
No, you're good. And I guess let's get into the gear a little bit too, because your guitars are practically screaming at me right now to be big.
Yeah,
to
talk
some.
About. Yeah. So. Yeah, I'm not the biggest geek, like the biggest gear geek. I have basically just one electric guitar and one electric bass, both Ibanez. The electric guitar I got as a gift from a former bandmate. I don't know why he gave it to me. I can't remember actually. There was a time when I was super drunk all the time, so I might have just forgotten why he gave it to me. But it's the only guitar I used for all my recordings. And it has some EMG humbucker things on there that were like he put them in afterwards, so they're not the original ones. And yeah, it's a fantastic guitar. I love to play this one. It's just like it was made for me somehow. I put a lot of stickers on it. I don't know why, but I left it like that. Usually I'm not the sticker kind of guy to put this everywhere, and instruments are very very holy almost to me, but this one is just the sticker guitar. I don't know. And the bass guitar is also an Ibanez, and actually the cheapest one I could afford like 10-15 years ago when I bought it, and since then I had a couple of more guitars, but I sold some because I needed money and I didn't play them actually. I have another 8-string guitar which I used on some songs before Steam Slicer. Maybe I will use it for some other Steam Slicer stuff. Also very cheap, but I just wanted to try it out. I was in a heavy Meshuggah phase and needed to play stuff like this, or try to play stuff like this. Yeah, and the other ones are just acoustic guitars for the girlfriend.
Singing serenades or lullabies now to the baby. So,
yeah,
that's all good.
For the chill stuff.
Yeah. I did notice the Gojira show too, and I should probably mention this now before we get. I actually did see him live whenever he came around my neck of the woods, and I think that was actually the second concert I'd gone to because of after COVID and everything too, because I really played safe. I have to say they were doing it with Deftones and another band called Vowels, and they were actually the middle act out of all of them too. I think now they're with Mastodon and Lorna Shore on some sort of tour. I don't know. I don't know. Did they come through your neck of the woods yet, or you have no idea?
No. No, I don't think so. Lorna Shore is something I don't get the hype actually, but they are pretty big right now, right?
Something like that. I mean, they do make some pretty killer music, even though the subjects they touch on are pretty dark, to be honest, too. If you know.
Yeah.
So, but it is what it is. They do what they can. Actually.
Yeah, sure.
There was actually another fellow from Germany I interviewed a while back. I would say, out of all the places I've interviewed, I would say U.S. is number 1, U.K. is number 2, and Germany's number 3.
Really?
Of how many people I've interviewed so far. So.
Okay, cool.
But this fella, Keno Wessels, he's real big into Lorna Shore, and he can't play any of the music, but he loves listening to him. And I think he probably goes around with it on his drum set too, because he's a drummer as well. So
shout
out to Keno, by the way. So that's all good. Did you say what interface you use whenever you're trying to bring it all together? What the DAW was?
I have a Focusrite VRM thing. I try to figure out what the actual name is. I have it in front of me. Sapphire, is the name. Was the first and only audio interface I ever owned, and I bought this from my very first salary I got. It was like super expensive, and usually I don't have a lot of money for any kind of gear, but this one was a very good buy because it lasts, it never made anything wrong. It just does what it has to do. It works perfectly, and for more than 10 years now, and I love that thing. And I can record anything I want. I could even record like a full drum set with that. It has a lot of inputs. I never used it for drum recordings, but it's a cool thing, and everything Focusrite made is very cool. I have a lot of friends who have Focusrite gear, and they're all super happy with it. So maybe they want to sponsor me.
Maybe at some point, but you can add me to the list, because I actually use a Focusrite 18920. And this baby's been serving me pretty well on my podcast journey, even though I don't use all the inputs and outputs. But I mean, it's something to at least have in case you ever come around to it. So, maybe at some point, come on, Focusrite, sponsor this guy. This guy is making some big waves out there, that's for sure. I did mention about COVID previously too, so I guess let's go ahead and jump into that. I guess how bad did COVID impact you and your family?
Thank God, not so much. I hardly know anyone who didn't have it actually. So my girlfriend and I, we had it when my girlfriend was pregnant, so that was not super fun. But other than that, at the time when it started, like it was in 2020, I think, when it really started in the beginning. Back then we were living in Berlin, and we just got to know each other, first dates and stuff. And in Berlin you can do everything, it was amazing to do a lot of stuff. And then COVID came, and all of a sudden Berlin became any other city in the world where you can't do anything because everything was closed. So that was very sad. But at the time I had, I was just fresh with my girlfriend together, and we had a very very how would you say it? Was a very crazy time because we were sitting on each other the whole time. You know, that you couldn't do anything. So we were at her place or my place, and we got to know each other in a very short time, I would say, but we got to know each other very deeply. So that was kind of good. So when I think back on the COVID time and all the not being able to do anything, it was actually kind of cool for me personally. But of course, it was not good for all the people working in like music or anything that happens outside. And I was actually working as a project manager at that time for a group that did performing arts stuff, and there was nothing to do. Like there was very hard for the company to survive. But in Germany, we had a lot of help from the government, and we're very lucky that the government could give us some money, or we were very lucky to be able to get that money to survive. Actually, that was very good. Yeah. I think thinking back, if I had been with my girlfriend for longer or had known her, then I probably would have made a lot of music in that time, because you just have a lot of time. But yeah, I'm doing that now. I don't have a lot of time, but I do the music now.
That's very good to hear. And would you say that's the biggest blessing in disguise that COVID kind of gave you was, that's how you spending more time with your girl, I guess.
Yeah.
Also getting back and really committing more towards Steam Slicer.
Yeah, that's, there was the groundwork laid for everything that happened later with having my son, and, so it was okay. It was a hard time, and like kind of surreal to see the whole world stop, in some point. So there was a crazy time. I'm not sure if that will be the only time stuff like this will happen. Maybe there will be another virus at some point, but maybe we've learned from this one how to manage to get through this. I don't know. We'll see.
One would hope. So
yeah.
Otherwise, bring on the shutdowns again. Let's do it again. All right. We'll see what happens, but it's good to see you guys made it through, and congratulations again.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. And I guess, what do you love most about music? Because you said you didn't really grow up in a music family, but it seemed like somehow music worked its way into your DNA at this point. So I guess how that'll happen.
I think, the music is something. I'm a very introverted guy. I'm very shy, and I'm not not someone who likes to be in the spotlight and all eyes on me. I hate that. But through music, I can express myself, and I like to express myself through music. And this is the thing I love most about it. I can just play music. I can show other people what I did, and I don't have to tell a story with words, or I can't express myself in any other way, like paintings or whatever art there is. With music, I can just sit there and be myself, and express that. That's kind of cool, and I'm very happy that I'm able to do that. That I have instruments that I can just take and do stuff with it. That's super cool.
You say it also serves like a little therapy session in a way.
It is very therapeutic, yeah. Especially those long takes I recorded, at the beginning for Steam Slicer, like 30 or 60 minutes, just sitting there playing, being with myself and thinking about all that stuff that's about to happen. That really helped me to think about it, and to be able to look forward to it as well. It's scary at the first time if you get that news. I was basically a child back then myself, so like from my not from the age, but from how I was living or thinking. And yeah, that was kind of scary as well, but music helped me definitely, and always did. Not my own music, but since I really listen to music, I listen to the lyrics, I try to understand the lyrics, yeah, there's a lot of songs that helped me through some difficult times, I would say. Yeah.
Let's say, now do you use the music to help put your kid to bed?
It's usually classic music, yeah. It's like Beethoven and stuff like this. Piano music is a big thing for him, for my son. He's into that. So we use that sometimes to calm him down, and I have the feeling that it calms him down. My own music, I don't know. He is just I played it to him, of course, but I don't think that he fully understands what that is. It's probably just some noise for him now, but I hope he will get it at some point.
I would say he hasn't gotten rambunctious yet, has he? To the point where it's going to be like, come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a couple of years down the road then.
I'll say good luck, because actually I usher at my church, and you see a couple of those kids not really fully understanding what's going on too. So of course they're being rambunctious, to say the least. So I'd say good luck to you, mate. So
yeah.
Like I said, do you still work multiple jobs?
Not multiple jobs, no, just one, and I'm on parental leave right now, so I'm very, very happy to be able to take parental leave. I'm not doing this for like a couple of weeks. I'm in my almost 12th month of parental leave. I have another 2 months to go. This is one of the cool things in Germany, that you can do that, and you get financial help from the government. It's still not enough, but it's enough to make it somehow, and the good thing is that you can take the parental leave, and your employer, he can't fire you. He has to give your job back to you when you come back. So that's guaranteed, and that's guaranteed by law. So this is pretty cool.
Well, I wonder how about that would. I'm trying to figure out if that would fly in the States, to be honest, too. But I think they would call it socialism, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
probably, yeah.
I don't know, but at this point, it's whatever. So, but I guess the question I wanted to lead into is currently what you're going through. Would you say this is one of the biggest challenges you have, or I guess what other challenges do you face as indie musicians?
Yeah, as indie musician, of course, as a solo indie musician, doing everything yourself is a big thing. It takes just so much time. It's crazy, because if you made it as a solo artist to record everything, to mix it, or to master it, I give my stuff away for mastering. But if you do all that yourself, then the fun is just starting. You have to promote it. You have to get other people to listen to your music, and this just takes a lot of time. And it's almost a full-time job, or you can easily spend that much time to promote your stuff. And this is a big challenge, I would say, to bring out your stuff and then get people to listen to it. And I'm usually one of those guys. If someone comments on something I posted, I comment back. I say thank you if people say it's cool, if they give me a shout out or whatever. I just don't like to leave it at that. I'm genuinely thankful for everyone who is listening to my music and giving feedback, and I want to say thank you for this. And if you do that, and Facebook and the Band Together group, there's a lot of people on there, and that takes a lot of time. I usually spend at least an hour or two, mostly every evening, on my phone, going through the notifications and chatting with people and talking about my music and trying to get it somewhere and get it on playlists or whatever, to get it to as many people as I can. So that's a big thing, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you mentioned earlier that you're really introverted too, and I'm kind of the same way. So, I mean, having these sorts of talks actually helps out too. Would you say talking about it too and interacting with other musicians as well as doing your music, would you say that's really helped improved being slightly more extroverted?
Yeah, also this is the thing, being or seeing that other people are in the same place was a big thing for me, that I'm not alone doing this. So it helps me a lot, and it's cool to see, we are all doing this at home. Nobody of us has like a super huge studio and other people are recording some stuff for them, or and the technical side is always something where you can lose yourself in, like talking about other people, how they do it, how their approach is, what kind of DAW they use, what kind of gear they have, how they mix it, and how they use the EQ or whatever. This is stuff that really helped me when I got into the Band Together group and got to know all the other artists, because in the beginning I was blown away by the quality of the music. This is so good, and I was like, okay, you are indie musicians, or you have a full-blown studio in your basement? How do you get it to sound like that? And this is crazy that it's possible to do that in your home nowadays. Like 10 years ago, the stuff wasn't good. The drum programs you could use then, they weren't very good. You can definitely hear if you programmed the drums or not. And I would say I still hear it most of the time if this is a real drum set or not, but it's very hard, and you can get some great results out of plugins these days. So I like to talk about that stuff as well with other musicians.
Yeah, absolutely too. And shout out to Christina and Greg, aka Vox and Sticks and Vox and Guess, for putting the whole thing together too. So
yeah, absolutely. Those two are amazing. I don't know. I've never seen people being more selfless than those two. It's crazy. They put so much time and effort and energy in that, just to help out, and I love those two. They're amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, did you get interviewed by them at one point? I thought I did see.
Sorry, what?
Did you get interviewed by them yet?
Yeah. I did. It's on Spotify and YouTube and everywhere they are. Yeah, that was a cool interview. It was, I think, my second interview, and I was still super nervous, and knowing that what's about to happen. You see the other interviews, and some of the questions, of course, in the end and in the beginning are the same, and I was like, oh my God, I hope we can do this. And but I talked to her for like 2 hours, and it felt like 10 minutes, and it felt like I would know her for a couple of years, that we would be friends or something. It was super cool that she made me feel very comfortable, and she's a great interviewer, had great questions, and that was really cool.
It was actually had an honor to actually interview them, and I posted that up on Spotify and on YouTube too. So need more likes. Come on, This is a nice story. You get to now know these people more. So that's okay. Yeah. And it was definitely good finding out this group too, because really in the beginning I was just looking for really musicians who were just strictly like on YouTube, for instance, or if I found any that were like Instagram or whatever. After I found this, I think like there's a whole lot of people here.
Yeah.
So
yeah, true.
And now it's even expanded further, because I'm actually talking with a guy later today, and his name's Aaron, and he helps out in the hip hop rap community.
Okay, so cool.
We got something going on there, but I won't spoil anything just yet. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that.
Okay, cool.
But I guess getting back into home studio, I guess, how hard was it for you in the beginning to just really kind of do anything music wise?
Yeah, it wasn't super hard, you know. It was like I'm not the kind of guy who thinks a lot in front of or prior to recording something or to doing something. I try to get the best out of the stuff I have, you know. This probably comes when I was making music with my brother. It didn't matter if we had a tuned guitar or not. You know, it's a guitar. It's loud. It's cool. So I try to do the best I can with the stuff I have. There's so much more better stuff out there, of course. You can get better instruments and better software and whatever, and knowledge, of course, for recording and stuff. If you like record an acoustic guitar with real microphones, this is kind of a science itself, you know, to use the right microphone. And then if you have the right microphone, how do you use the right microphone? You know, it's a huge thing, and I usually just try to maybe watch a video on YouTube how to basically do it, and then I just try it and make it. And if it's not perfect, that's okay. You know, I'm not perfect, and if the music would be perfect, it wouldn't be cool anymore, because then it would sound like a robot doing stuff. And I like to have a little bit of quirks in there now and then, and you know, and not every note has to be super tight and everything. So yeah, I do what I can, and so I wouldn't say that it was very hard for me to do it. You know, it's I just try to give my best in what I can do or what I have, and it's good.
Good enough for me. That sort of thing too.
Okay.
Actually, I was talking with Neil Hubbard, aka Nelios, the other day, and he told me like how much he had to go on YouTube just to, like, kind of study this and that in order to do his own music production. I came up with the term YouTube University, since that seems to be where people seem to go in order to like pick up any sort of skills or anything like that at this point, just to kind of like know like, hey, how do you do this and that? Whereas you probably had to go like to a university or college just to gain that skill in like 2 years or something like that. Yeah. So it's amazing what YouTube has done. So I mean, it's really helped out, and now we get to do this podcasting stuff and interact with people. So it's all good. It's good to see you are doing well. But I guess what's your plans for the next 2 months and going into 2024?
I have some collabs going on, all in the band together, Cosmos, I would say. I can't say with who, but or yet, but this is going to be super cool, and it finally is something that I was looking for, you know, making music with other people again. Not like, you know, sharing a rehearsal room. It's not like live, but yeah, just to have that, to have that the possibility to make music with someone else again is cool. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without the Band Together group, actually. So I'm super thankful on so many levels for this group and for Christina and Greg. It's crazy. Yeah, some collabs are definitely going on. I think as it looks right now, I would be able to release stuff this year. We're pretty good at the time in the time right now. And for 2024, I guess more collabs, but also I'm thinking about another EP or mini album thing. I got a little concept that I wanted to do like for a long time. It's like making a song what influences me a lot is the universe and life and stuff like this. Like the solar system is something totally freaky to me, and how this all works. And so I wanted to do a concept album where I have a song for each planet. and get more into the mystical stuff of the planets, how they have been received in ancient times and whatever, and see if I can make kind of an album out of that and have Pluto as a bonus track or whatever. I don't know if I can make it. And this is something I would love to do in 24. If I can do that, if I have the time to sit down again and record a lot of stuff, that would be cool. Yeah.
Does it make like the lyrical content for like Mars and be like, I'm gonna blow up the Earth because it obstructs my view of Venus.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Because I got that from a Martian Manhunter, and I obviously as a kid you probably wouldn't have noticed it, but as an adult after you studied how ancient Greek religion or anything like that kind of went to, I was like, damn, that was adult humor, man. That's another thing I got at too. You're gonna have to teach your kid some of the stuff that goes on in like certain movies too.
Yeah.
Just picturing he's gonna get a couple more gray hairs and like stuff of that too, just trying to explain it to the kid.
Yeah.
Too. And
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
You said, is that what all your lyrical content is? It's like based on like nature and like what goes on in the universe.
Yeah, nature. Of course, a lot of stuff is related to my son and how I feel about all that, especially on the EP. But also a lot about my fears that came up more when I thought about having a kid and stuff like that. Having a kid in this super crazy, sometimes screwed up world is scary, and this is something that it made me look different at a lot of things, and nature is was always a big influence for me, but now that I have brought another life into this world, I like to keep that nature for him as long as possible. And there's a lot of stuff going on, especially on the album, with how we as humans treat the earth and stuff like this. Is a whole thing that is on the album. Yeah, but other than that, the universe. Things you can't grasp really. Sometimes I lie in bed and when I can't sleep and thinking about how endless everything is, and it can be a super scary thought when you spiral into it. And this is also a lot of food for my lyrical stuff that I came up with. And this also a little bit therapeutic for me to put it on paper, that's because usually I just keep that for myself, and but this time I could like almost talk about it, mostly with or to myself, but it was good to sing about it and get it out at some point. This helped me a lot.
I see. And which I think a joke was something in terms of like lyrics being like that. Kind of delve into like philosophy or stuff like that too, which I would say I was not very good at too. So unfortunately, philosophy is not really my forte, and I've always think it's kind of a dark subject to really touch on too. But
true, can be,
So best of luck on your journey, man, and can't wait to see your new EP. But I guess can you tell me what Exuberant? I think that was one of your songs. I think that one I'd say was my favorite after listening to some of your music last night. So I guess can you tell me what that one is?
Yeah, that's one song of the new album, and Exuberant is like criticizing the exuberantly style that some people live. It's just based or inspired by I wouldn't say a family member, but almost close, very close to my family. Just living a life in their own bubble, not caring about what could happen when you live a way like that. If you just use your water and your energy, just wasting it, and not caring about what that might actually do to your environment, is something that that makes me a little bit angry, because people just, they don't care, and they just live now, and they don't care if they have what their actions do to the environment. And this is what I put into there, that you have everything, and you just don't care, and you just make whatever you want. And I kind of deals with those people that in the end, it's Mother Nature is very powerful and can be very powerful, and and in the end, nature can say, well, fuck you too, then it happens a lot, and everywhere in Europe, and I think in the US as well, where you have abnormal weather situations that maybe have been there for I don't know how many times, but it's getting more frequent. The flooding's getting more frequent. The fires are getting more frequent, in Germany now we have tornadoes. That's real stuff we have here. There was always like, that's from the USA. They have tornadoes, but not us. And now in Germany you have them too. And it changes, and it changes very fast in a direction that is not so cool. And exuberant is like a critique on those people who do not care about that, and just nobody can be perfect and have a super eco-friendly life and whatever. But there's stuff you can do, and that won't hurt you. And I think at least thinking about it would be cool, especially when you have kids, or have some kind of empathy for future generations.
Yeah, that's very deep. I would say, unfortunately, I think you're inheriting our mess too. So I think that's where the tornadoes thing really starts coming too. So, all right, let's hope eventually humanity does wake up to what's going on. So,
yeah,
we'll see what happens. So I can't really be a judge on that. So, we do got a couple questions here, but then also some fun ones here. So I'll ask this one, but I guess. What sort of advice would you give to other indie musicians in our community too, as they try to at least maybe put something out there, or at least try to shoot for the stars, as we probably would like to say?
I would say do it, go for it, and keep creating, keep doing stuff. It doesn't matter if you have a perfect voice or a perfect guitar playing or whatever. You don't have to be the biggest musician in the world to put your thoughts and your stuff into music. If you are able, and you're lucky, if you're able to play an instrument, like you can record playing your instrument. This is an ability that is great, and you should definitely do that as much as you can. Because it's art, and it doesn't matter how many people like it in the end. If you're happy with it, you've created something, and you've done so much more than a lot of people. Keep creating, keep doing it, and keep having fun at it. That I would say.
Sounds good there, mate. And guess best of luck on your journey too, because I know. It's usually along the same lines as like don't give up and don't get discouraged. That sort of thing too, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you kind of feel those emotions in the beginning when you initially start out? Because I know you say you weren't very technical, tech savvy, or familiar with social media.
Yeah, definitely. I had a lot of points where I thought, I can't do this. I'm not good at this, or I am, I don't have the knowledge to do stuff like this, and I. Because I wanted to finish it, I wanted to do something and be able to give this, to my son at some point. I thought, I'm doing this now, and I'm so glad I did, because you learn so much, and it doesn't matter if you're perfect. This is something that was super important for me to learn that. And to learn this from myself, that it's okay if you're not perfect, and if you are not the greatest guitarist or whatever instrumentalist. You can you can create something, and this is so much it's worth so much, and so this is definitely something very important I take away from this time where I doubted myself, and also I don't know if you noticed this as well when you listen to my EP, that the vocals are mixed very far in the back. There was for one something, because I was very I wasn't so fond of my own voice, that I wanted it to have it like right there in the middle so everyone can hear it. That was my introverted side that put that back a little, but also was a critique on like 99% of the music you hear or you hear on the radio. I would say you just hear the vocals. There's like 100%, I would say, of pop music is just vocals. It's super overproduced vocals, and the rest doesn't matter. It's who the bass player is, or it's some guy sitting in the studio playing the bass, or if it's really a person who's playing the bass. It's the focus has shifted to the vocals and to someone who can be marketed like a star and has to look good and whatever. And I didn't like that, because the music gets in the background and people don't care about the music. It's just about, it's a marketing machine, music right now, and the actual music doesn't matter. That's what I wanted to say. And so this was kind of a thing that I didn't want, that my voice was in the front. I wanted to give space for all the instruments and that they can be heard. And I got a lot of feedback that was like, yo, dude, you did this all wrong, and you should remix and whatever. And this was stuff that really got me thinking, okay, did I really do everything wrong? And but being in that Band Together group made me think twice, and especially Christina was someone who said, don't listen to those people. You made this, you made this how you wanted it, and it's perfectly right the way you did it, and it makes sense, and it's good like that, and it wouldn't be good any other way. And that helped me a lot to don't listen too much on the people who think they can do better, or are better at everything. So yeah.
Yeah, actually, I'm just trying to remember because I was on Spotify. Did you only release like 8 songs so far, or how many songs have you released?
It's the 5 songs from the EP, and then the 3 songs that are now, I think, on top in Spotify are the ones from the upcoming album. Those were the 3 singles I released prior to the album release.
Okay. I was I only got halfway down, so I did 1 through 4, and I listed
okay.
it. So I think unfortunately the EP one was anywhere from the middle down, so
yeah.
It's all good. But really, all of it was very good. So I mean, I really couldn't really bash or anything about that. So hats off to you, mate. All right. So let's jump into the fun questions right now. Ready?
Okay.
All right. So since I saw you drink right there, what's your favorite alcoholic drink and non-alcoholic drink?
Yeah, well, alcoholic drink, I would say beer. I'm German, we grow up.
I like to drink at times, yeah.
Yeah, it's. I'm not drinking a lot anymore. Those times are over. But I enjoy this as a cool drink in the evening. Having a beer is nice. It doesn't matter if there's alcohol in it actually, but yeah, as non-alcoholic, I would say it's water. I drink too much Coke and stuff that is full of sugar, so I try to cut that out of my how would you say that?
Cut out the diet plan. Or something
yeah,
like that.
right. Exactly. Yeah, thank you. So it's mostly water, and this is what and very important in the morning is coffee. This is stuff I need. I need at least 2 or 3 mugs of coffee, so otherwise I can't function. But then it's water.
I'm gonna say, hope you're not jumping off the walls like a Mexican jumping bean
Yeah.
for those cups of coffee. I would say, yeah, I would say I will give it to the Germans. They know how to make one of the best beers I've ever tasted in my whole life. Because a while back, and this was actually right before COVID had hit in 2019, I was actually in Munich with family and went to
Oktoberfest.
Actually, sadly, no. It was actually it was during the summer months, but it was we went to the Hofbräuhaus, as I always like to say, because where I live, we got a Hofbräuhaus in our neck of the woods too, but it's not the Hofbräuhaus in Munich, Germany.
Yeah.
But I would say that was the best beer I ever tasted too. So I'll give it to you guys. I don't know. Do you guys try to compete with the Irish? How much you guys can drink?
Yeah, maybe there should be like an official competition. I don't know.
Well, actually, what was that one movie? It was something with a beer fest. It was like some sort of underground beer competition too. It was like of all those German guys, and I can't remember right now. I think I want to keep saying beer fest, but I think it's wrong. But
it could be. I don't know. Yeah.
My brain's foggy. I do remember seeing it, and it was okay. I would say that because comedies these days aren't really the greatest, but
yeah,
whatever.
That's true.
So, but I guess speaking of movies, I guess what would you consider as your favorite movie?
I really like movies that tell a big story, like stuff like Matrix or Lord of the Rings or Star Wars. Where you have this whole thing going on. This is kind of cool because I can get lost in those worlds that have been created. It's kind of cool. But as my absolute favorite movie, I would say it's Wayne's World. I don't know if you know this one.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy. Yeah.
I don't know. This is a movie I've seen 1,000 times at least, and it's the best movie that I've ever seen. I've laughed so hard at this when I was a teenager, and I don't know. I can always, in any situation, no matter how I feel or what day I had, if that movie comes up or I just feel like it, I turn it on and it makes me feel good. I don't know. I love that movie. It's crazy.
I think I was talking with Justin and during his interview, and I think he had referenced it, but I couldn't remember the title of the movie until, of course, after you Google it and find out what it was. Because he had actually ran into one of the more well-known death metal bands, Morbid Angel, when he was, I want to say touring with his group. I don't know if he was like nationwide touring or whether it was just local or anything like that. But he just happened to come across Morbid Angel. It was like one of those "we're not worthy" moments.
Yeah.
But shout out to Justin too. So we got a good number of shout outs in this interview too. So that's all good. And what is your favorite food?
That would be pizza. I'm a pizza junkie, and I love that stuff. I haven't done the experiment of having this every day and seeing how long it lasts, but I will do it someday. It's just it's easy to make. It's in my head it's considered healthy, so it's all good.
I'm sorry, I think we're in a pizza renaissance right now because everybody at least interviewed so far has some variant of a pizza too, I guess. Which one do you like on yours?
Just salami on that. I'm not like a pineapple or anything on the pizza guy.
God, do not say pineapple. I will kill you.
No, I don't like experiments on my pizza. Just salami, and that's good, and a lot of cheese.
I would say at a second job I worked at, we actually did the whole Oktoberfest of sausages and actually pork schnitzels.
Okay.
So that way they brought out our German side as well too, because our manager, his last name is from a German descent, so he kind of speaks for himself too. So actually turned out to be pretty popular too. And the sauerkraut I think we mixed with, it was like an apple sort of variant of sauerkraut. So it's all very good.
Yeah, a sauerkraut is weird because that's always like considered, or people think that Germans eat a lot of sauerkraut. It's not like that. I want to clarify this. I think it's from, let's say, 2 generations before mine that sauerkraut was a big thing. because people could do that at home, and but now with supermarkets and stuff like this, you can get far better stuff, I would say.
I think it's definitely a stereotype, because I think the stereotypes go, Irish are known for drinking even on Sundays.
Yeah.
You got Germans with the sauerkrauts, and then Italians with the pizzas and the hoagies, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
But stereotypes
I would,
they don't come from nowhere, you know. It has to be something that I think in the war times the Germans were always called the Krauts, and that has to come from somewhere. So, but it's luckily a long time ago.
I would say I think it was easier to remember in terms of like, because at least how the way Kraut was spelled, I mean, it was German too, so it was like German over there, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
All right. And the last fun questions: what's currently your favorite song?
Yeah, that is a hard one, because I usually I have my own playlist full of indie stuff. It's to name one is really hard. I really like Burnt from the Embracing Discomfort. This is a very cool song he recently released. But also from a fellow German indie artist called Moreno from Hamburg. He has a new song called Through the Night, which I sing along every day, I think. Just fantastic music, and a good example of how good indie music is, actually. It's super good produced, and I could name so many more who have like a production that you can't tell if this is like someone doing this at home or in a huge studio. I don't know if you know Sparrowlimp. It's from Rick Whitehead. He recently released his album, and this stuff is so good. The quality is so good, and the arrangements are superb. And you got to listen to that stuff. And it's crazy that this is like independent music, and that so few people know about this. And it's a shame, really. I hope they will find a bigger a bigger crowd someday to present their music.
I'll tell you, I have seen Sparrowlimp recently. I was liking. I don't know if he or she has commented yet anywhere. Any of the text, I know I've always seen like their likes or big heart emojis somewhere here and there too. So reach out at some point, so maybe we can at least figure them out a little bit more too. So we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, it would be nice, especially for indie musicians that are starting to really hone their craft and start really standing out, where it's almost like how it would sound professionally from like a studio like Nuclear Blast Records, for instance. So hopefully at some point, and hopefully you get to that point eventually, where
would be cool.
You can touch the sky, as they would say. So, but thank you so much, Joel, and thank you so much for your advice there. So, but Joel, we're almost done with my podcast right here. We are down to one more question, but before we jump into that, did you have any questions for me or any final words you want to say before we jump into it?
A big thank you for reaching out, for making this, for giving me and all the other artists a platform to talk about their music. This is really amazing, and I know it takes a lot of time and effort to do that stuff. And I on behalf of all the other artists, I want to say thank you so much for doing this. It's really amazing, and a big thank you.
Put the show in mind and for then. Yeah. Well, for the last question, it goes something like this, and you kind of touched on it a little bit too, but just to reiterate, what sort of message of hope would you give to musicians and people out there as we try to move forward in a post-COVID world?
Yeah, the hope thing is, for me personally, it is like it doesn't matter how your music sounds, if it's good produced or not, or if it's perfectly in tune or not. You will have people who will absolutely love what you do. It takes maybe a little bit of time to that your music and those people find or cross paths, but it will happen. Someone will love it, and this is the greatest feeling if you can make other people happy with your music. And just keep doing that, and you will find your audience, and they're gonna love it.
Sorry, I thought you were still going there. And spoken like a true prodigy. That's all good. Normally, people actually tend to really give like long-winded answers on that too. Not for any fault of their own too, but actually, sometimes people don't. Yours is more of a short answer, to say the least. Yeah. So that's all good. That's all good. So, all right. So, Joel, we've reached the end of my podcast right here, and we talked for almost a good hour and 30 minutes. But I guess, do you have any final words or any shout-outs you want to give before we close?
Not much. I want to say thank you to everyone who's watching this, and thank you for everyone who is listening to my music. I really appreciate any feedback on my music, and every single stream is super helpful for me. And thank you for checking my music out, and thank you for listening to this podcast.
No worries. And I guess how else can people reach you? And I guess what's good places to visit in Germany in case anyone wants to come out and visit or do some tours in around Germany?
Yeah, come by to the Heidelberg region and hit me up. We go have a drink and I show you around. It's beautiful. It's definitely worth visiting. So yeah, you know where I'm on social media. Just write me a message.
All right, sounds good. I didn't know if you wanted to reiterate just in case people don't know, or I guess any new fans you end up getting along the way in terms of social media. Is it like just strictly Facebook?
No, I'm everywhere. I think everywhere you can be, except for Twitter, or now X, because it's not my thing. But I usually I am on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I recently made an account on TikTok, which is like super crazy for me. On Bandcamp, obviously you can get my stuff as digital music or as a CD. I'm shipping worldwide, so you can get my CD if you want to. And other than that, I will reply as I can to any kind of messages. You can write me an email. It's all good. I'm glad to answer and talk to you.
That's it's a good thing to stay away from Twitter, aka X, at this point.
Yeah.
It's a little too crazy these days.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
That's a good thing. Let's just say just stay away. So
yeah.
Right. Everyone, my guest today was Joel Du Bois, hailing from Germany right there, aka Deutschland. So this guy's making some good music out there. So make sure you go hit him up on the socials. Go check him out on Spotify right there. And go hit him up. This guy's doing wonders out there. So Joel, thank you again so much again for coming on.
Thank you.
Stay safe. Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.